I don't even know where to begin with this one today, but we'll give this a shot. Hi everyone, I'm Retro Nate back with another NES game walkthrough. And this isn't really so much a walkthrough as it is more of a feature of a game that I came across as I was recording Donkey Kong Classics a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't checked that video out, it's on the videos tab. But as I was scrolling through my machine here, I noticed that there's another Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Jr. game for that matter, that I had never played. And I was like, what? How? What? This game, I'd never heard of it before. I'd never played it before. And I went online to see how much this thing sells for. And it's $200+ sometimes to get an actual copy of the game. I'm talking about Donkey Kong Jr. Math, a game as I said, never played it before, but wanted to feature it here on the channel. And it'll be a short video today just showing you the different modes and features that the game has. But I've played through a bit of it, and it's interesting. Either way, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We're going through every NES game in the North American library, along with SNES and Sega Genesis, for that matter. And I can't avoid the edutainment ones. This is part of the education series that Nintendo put out, and we're going to get over to it right about now. So let's switch over to the game and give it a look. And look at the demo we have here. Just two ape siblings seemingly competing for their father's affection. I mean, who can't relate to that? All right, let's go ahead and reset here. So when you load the game, just very basic Donkey Kong Jr. Math. This came out very early in the Nintendo's life, and you get a little demo of the gameplay here. As I was saying earlier, some fun music, as Donkey Kong is wont to do. And we're going to go ahead. So there are three different modes that we have here. Calculate A, Calculate B, and then basic math operations exercises. We're going to feature all of them today, just show you what each of them are like. The Calculate A and B options are multiplayer. So as you saw in the demo, you can play 2 players where you basically race to complete math problems. So in this mode, as we go to Calculate A, Donkey Kong up top is going to hold up a number. And what you need to do is select a number from the vines here, moving all around, navigating around the board. Then you're going to pick one of the 4 operations, and you're going to combine that with another number. So you're basically just acting as a calculator. This is like cardio calculation, basically, for Donkey Kong Jr. as he scales these vines and looks for the appropriate number that we want to grab. So I'm going to start out by getting a really big yield because the number I need to get to is positive 86. So 9 times 8 will get me to 72. And now what do I need to do? I probably need to add something. Now you see my my lazy loser of a brother over there on the right. That's for the second player. So if I were to have a second player, if I were to have a friend to play with me, maybe they'd be racing me as we go through this. So if I do 79 plus 7, I get to the target number, and it just shows the death animation from Donkey Kong Jr. So that's what Calculate A is. It's just a series of these different puzzles that you're going to go through and try to complete. Here, let's do one more. 9 times 6, I think I want. Is there a 6 somewhere? Yeah, it's over there. So let's grab that. 9 times 6 plus 2 should get me to the number I want. Where's the 2? Oh, it's over there. So the one thing you would have to do is race to grab these different operations. I imagine as a 2-player game, it would be kind of fun to go through and play this mode, racing each other for different numbers and finding ways to get to the target total. The way that the game works is it's the first to 5 is going to be your winner. So what have we got? 63 here. Let's get a 7. Let's get over there and get that. So typically, not that you need my strategies for math, but this is how my brain works, is I'm going to do a basic multiplication first to get as close to the target as I can, and then add on the remainder to get to the target number. So this is how this game works. 2 siblings, you want to sit them down in front of the Nintendo and get them and not feel terrible about them wasting their whole day not learning anything. They can do some math calculations in the meantime while they're doing this. Hey, let's do this a fun way, because doing math is fun. Let's go ahead and multiply to a higher total and then subtract the remainder. I mean, wild, right? We're nothing if not zany on this channel. Okay. Hey, we got 4. We've come this. I figured I'd come this far. Might as well keep right on going. All right, what do we want? 9 times. Let's do 9 times 9 minus 4. It'll be so fun. 3 minus... Math is a wonderful thing. Ding, ding, ding. Math is a really cool thing. Ding, ding, ding. So get off your ass. Let's do some math. Math, 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 math. I think that would be a great song if it wasn't, 17 years in the future when Jack Black sang that in School of Rock. So that's Calculate A, a race to 5 games of who can calculate the target total the fastest. Now, Calculate B, just like Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. had a B mode, now they step it up. They start you with a total that is kind of insane, and we also introduce negative numbers here too. So what I am going to do here, because of the scale of these numbers, I'm actually going to take away the amount that I want first. So I want to get to what, 220? I think negative 220. So how do I do that? Let's subtract another 9, then subtract a 2, I think. Where's a 2? Over here? So way tougher operation if you go to game B. This could lead to longer races, and maybe it's too easy if you do it, on the other mode. So you want to do a little bit more advanced math, and this is still a nice multiplayer way to go about it. So I'm just going to do one of these because you've already seen, 6 of these individual battles that I've done, which are not really battles so much against boredom, but that's how we would get there too. Same premise, but now the numbers are very different, and you start with a total that you then have to kind of calculate in your mind. So for this, what, I want to get 55 times 5, right? I'm sorry, I'm just so addicted to math. I keep saying I'm going to stop, but I never stop. Someone's got to help me. Someone's got to help me. No, the only help needed is this loser over on the right side who hasn't moved off his starting block, but I am powered by my love of math. I can't be held responsible for his inaction. I just see numbers and I have to calculate them. Drop a like on the video if you agree. You know what I mean? All right, you get the idea. Calculate A, Calculate B. Those are the 2 modes they have. Now this is your individual practice. Let's say that you have competed with all of the kids as we did in the 80s. You compete with all of the kids in the neighborhood. No one wants to face you in math competitions anymore because you're just too sharp. Well, the reason that you're sharp might be this plus minus multiply and divide exercise here, which allows you different formats of math calculations that you can start to work on. So we have 2-digit numbers plus 2-digit numbers, 3-digit minus 3-digit. These are wild. 4-digit plus 4-digit and minus. Multiplication of 1-digit numbers. Adding and subtracting 6-digit numbers. You are a wild guy, Donkey Kong, with your son just, doing the calculations for your own bidding. And then 3-digit times 2-digit multiplication, that's just too much. And then 2-digit numbers being divided. Can't imagine the stress of something like this. So let's go ahead. We're going to pick 3 digits times 2 digits. Let's show you exactly how the multiplication works here. All right, you have the chance to do 10 different math problems, and it's kind of weird the way that you have to calculate it, but they take you through the process of how we were taught when we were in school. So, all right, we got to do, 7 times 8 first. That's 56, right? So we're going to put the 6 here. We would carry the 5 in our head over to the next column. Now 6 times 8, 48 plus 5, 53. I think that's right. If I screw this up on video, this is going to be embarrassing. 53. Okay, so I think that's it. So then carry the 5. 8 times 9, 72 plus 5, 77? Is that what we got here? 7. Okay, I think so. Make sure not to move. Okay. Now we go back to the tens column. 3 times 7, 21. 3 times 6, 18 plus 2, 20. 3 times 9, 27 plus 2, 29? Maybe? Lord help me. If I watch this back and I'm like, Nate, you're an idiot. You don't know how to do any math. Well, we'll see if I'm right. All right, and now we got to add these up. 6, 4, 7. Why am I saying these out loud? Because it's a video, Nate. That's why. All right, let's see if I got it. First crack. I am the smartest man alive. First shot at it, and we got it on the first crack, and that's how you know, because you got an egg. Now, if you don't know the answer, you can run this question block right up to the top, and they will drop the answer on you. So that's kind of like the tutorial there if you want to take a guess. Now, let's say we get one of these wrong, and we need to reset. You would just hit the B button, I believe. So let's say I set that as a 4. You can't go back and edit it. You have to hit the B button to start again, basically, before you lock in your answer. So that is one of the mechanics here that you have to be aware of. if you were to get just some piece of it wrong and you were to calculate it again. So let's do 6, 6, 8. Let's just do one of these wrong just for craps and laughs here. So 3 times 8, 24. Carry the 4. This is going to be a 6. And this is going to be 32, 34, I believe. All right. And then we're going to lock in our full answer, and we'll get one of these wrong. So let's make this a 5 on purpose. On purpose. I know how to do this. All right. We're going to add that. Of course, I probably don't need help making a mistake on this. 14 plus 1 carried. 15 carried. All right. So if we lock in the wrong answer, Donkey Kong is shattered, and what they will do is highlight then the wrong number that you need to refill, or that you need to fill in again and try again. And once you recalculate and it's right, you get your score and you try for the highest score. However, you see I do not have an egg next to problem number 2, as I don't know what the answer, as I didn't get it on my first try. So you get an egg if you get it on your first try. Now, if I run this up to the end, they're just going to fill in all of the answers for you if you can't figure out what it is. And then when you drop down, for some reason, you get this great victory music, but that is because you've decided you just don't want to try. So, like, why do you get the best celebration if you just give up and have them give you the answer? Did you notice that? You get victory music. He's flexing. This is when the downfall in education started. You know, I think actually maybe we can attribute it to this. So there's an idea. Let's go one more time to, I'm going to go back for a second, and I'm going to do one more of the operations, and I'm going to switch over to the division here. We've already seen adding and subtracting a little bit. Well, maybe we haven't. Let's do the big addition one and do one problem of each of these before we sign off for the day. All right. Ooh, big time addition here. Make sure we carry all the proper numbers. Let's see how quick we can do it. 4, 11, 15, 15, 10, 12, 1. Give me that egg. Come on, baby. Man, I just get so charged up doing math with Donkey Kong Jr. Subtraction, we got to do one of each of the toughest before we sign off here. All right. 6 digits subtraction. This one's a little trickier because you have to make sure you're borrowing properly and all that. So I would need to borrow from here down to 0. We're going to make this a 9. All right, so that's a 0. We're borrowing again. That's a 2. This is a 5. 1. 0. We're back to pure subtraction. 6 here. And 3. Did I do that right? Victory. I am really glad that I have not totally embarrassed myself by thinking I'd locked in a good answer when I hadn't. Now, I've done multiplication, but, you know, we'll do one more just to keep sharp, because math in itself is addicting and its own reward. Let me just make sure I make that clear to all the viewers at home, okay? If you are watching this, by the way, and you are not of the generation... Wait a minute. Oh, I'm not doing addition. I'm not doing addition. I'm doing multiplication. If you are watching this and you are of the generation that, like, remembers crap like this was the stuff that they churned out to really try to leverage, because the big concern at the time, which still rages to some degree, is that video games just were going to dumb down the entire generation. They were going to make us all, stupid and we were never going to, amount to anything academically. So this was their attempt to kind of bridge both worlds, where you had educational games that you didn't feel as bad about putting your kids. I screwed up. What did I mess up? Oh, the 3, because I got to carry the 1. Whoops. Because you didn't send your kids on top of the, sitting on top of the video game console, just spending hours and hours without doing anything educational. So this was one of the attempts. This edutainment series for the Nintendo was one of the attempts at that. All right. I'm talking and trying to do math. It is tough to concentrate. We're going to do one more division, and then we're going to call it a day, okay? Because I know that you've taken in quite a bit of content from this division. Oh my gosh, would you look at this division? 52 divided by 1. All right, always watch. This is an interesting division problem. So you have to make sure that you are always putting in the number, like it takes you the cursor move, I can't talk. The cursor moves in the order in which you would generally, we were being taught this. So you do it, 1 times 5, now carry down the 5, and now we'll move over here. How much do we bring down? We bring down the 2. Now how many times does it go into 2? It goes into 2 times. And then we're going to bring down the 2, and then it's going to be a 0 over here. So you got to like move off of that each time to fill in those numbers in the spot they do. But that is the reason that they put you in this way. So then if we do have one with a remainder, I mean, I've been talking about math for 15 minutes. God bless me, and God bless you if you've stuck in there long enough to watch this whole video with me. Okay, so we're going to bring down a 4 because 2 times 2 is 4. Then we're going to move over. We're going to bring down the 3. Now we're going to see how many times does it go into 3? It goes into 3 1 time. And then that's going to be a 2. And then we're going to bring down a 1. And we did it. That's it. Donkey Kong Jr Math gives you all of those modes to practice. You got Calculate A, where you can play multiplayer on kind of simple totals that you need to find. A lot of addition, subtraction in that one. Calculate B, which introduces negative numbers, more multiplication and division, and addition there. And it's a race in 2 players. And then you can just do exercises over and over, just practicing all of these. That was it. That was it, guys. A chance for people who wanted to play video games, but their parents also wanted them to practice their arithmetic. This was the answer. Donkey Kong Jr Math. And this cartridge sells for like $200 if you want to buy it online. It's wild how rare it was. It came out very early in the NES life. And, but yeah, it is a licensed game in North America, and thus we had to cover it. And that's why you get this video today. It's a short one today, guys, but that is Donkey Kong Jr Math. Thank you for hanging in there with me as we sharpened our brain and our head and our mind too. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop a like on the video and leave a comment if you have any experience with either this or any other edutainment games that were on the NES, if there were ones that you were asked to play by your parents or forced to play by your parents to make sure that you were keeping your mentals sharp. Appreciate it, you guys. Catch you on the next video. I am out.